Camera had cut on me. I thought it would. Anyway, move on. I was reading the precept. Read the precept. It was on. All right. Now let me get to this guy, G-Man. Book of Psalms 1 and 1. What the hell is that?
Right, stay close. Only a few more to do now.
We're going to go back into the mall. Give you an opportunity to get to the loop, okay? Okay, let's go.
Read Book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. Psalms 1 and 1. It says, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful." Okay? You met this dude, this clown, this character named G-Man, all of a sudden now he's bitching up on YouTube, man. Okay? And it's a broad sense going into all you scoffers and scorners, man. Okay? You scorn, you despise, you loathe this word. And you've been told the truth many times, man. But the blood is off our hand. The blood is on your head now, man. But you better pray you're not a Tear or Edomite. You, Vocab Malone, the other group y'all call yourself soldiers of God, whatever, man. Okay? You guys are the soldiers of Satan, man. You're doing his will whether you know it or not. Okay? Because you're despising the word of the Most High. Alright? Read that precept one more time. Psalms 1 and 1. "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly," man. So that's an ungodly counsel that y'all came up with. Okay? Just try to strive against the truth. Like the Lord told Paul, you beating against the bricks, man. And he had to be humble, but he was a part of the elect. More likely you guys are not. Because the scriptures are straightforward. You guys have been reproved many times, man. Okay? The Lord did not come for everybody. That's very, very plain in the Bible, man. The Gentiles are the Israelite foreigners. The kingdom of heaven is for the children of Israel, man. The so-called Negro, Hispanic, and the Native American are the Israelites. The white man is Esau. America is Babylon. Point blank period, man. Another thing you guys don't go into is prophecies. We're in a time of prophecy. The scripture says, Revelation 19 and 10, the spirit of the Messiah is the spirit of prophecy. Okay? Read Zechariah. Okay, now y'all all fighting each other, man. Because that was an ungodly counsel. All right, and may you guys continue to keep fighting each other, because that whatever y'all was building, of course, is gonna fall, because the Most High was not the centerpiece. All right. Read another precept. The book of Isaiah chapter 54 verse 17. Isaiah 54 verse 17. Another thing I'm going to start going back into is the basics here. Alright, that came in my spirit. I'm going to start going back into the real milk of the scriptures. Okay, Deuteronomy 28, the color scriptures, who the Lord came for. It's time to revisit the basics. Alright? Isaiah 54 verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. Okay, just like y'all. Scripture says I'm gonna read again, Isaiah 54 verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. Alright? Right? That's what we're doing. Condemning, cursing you guys, man. Alright? Condemn or to damn. Alright? Read on. So every tongue that rises against us, thou shalt condemn. And that's going for who? You scoffers and you scorners. Just like the Most High did. Let me read a book of 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 16. You can't come up against that millstone. Alright? Yahawashi told the Pharisees that. Man. Anything that fall on the millstone gonna break, and if the millstone go over you, gonna grind you to pieces. 2 Chronicles 36 verse 16. We start from 15. And the Lord of Yahawashi, power of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, rising of betimes or early, and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place, who are the messengers of prophets. Verse 36, verse 16. But they mocked the messengers of the Most High, and despised his words, and misused his prophets, man. That's what Jake like doing, misusing the prophets, man. And the prophets, that's the men that's on the streets, man. And so-called preachers are not prophets, man. They're Judas goats. They're feeding their own belly. They're shepherds who don't care for the flock. That's what they teaching them Christian fables, man. That Cesare Borgia, that plantation Christianity. Okay? Read on. It says, but they mocked the messengers of the Most High, and despised his words, and misused his prophets, until the wrath of the Most High, Yahawashi, arose against his people, till there was no remedy, man. Alright? That's what you guys fail to comprehend. You come up against us, man, there is no remedy, man. Because it's not our book. It's not our program. Yahawashi said, he that speaketh of himself glorify himself. See, so good for G-Man, man. And the rest of you scoffers, man, continue to keep fighting each other, man. Like it says in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 21st chapter. It's starting to rain. Ecclesiastes chapter 21, verse 25. Ecclesiastes 21:25. 27. It says, when the ungodly curseth Satan, he curseth his own soul. Oh, glory to the Most High. Let me read it again. Ecclesiastes chapter 21, verse 27. When the ungodly curseth Satan, he curseth his own soul. So you guys bickering, going back and forth, a house divided against itself. You're cursing your own soul, man. Okay? You guys are a reflection of each other. You're all in darkness, man. And like Yahawashi said, read Matthew 15:14. Matter of fact, let me read Ezekiel 14:19. The Most High is a scary dude, man, because I'll read a precept. Ezekiel 14:9. And if a prophet be deceived when he speaketh a thing, read it again, Ezekiel 14:9. And if a prophet be deceived when he speaketh a thing, I, the Lord, or Yahawashi, have deceived that prophet. So when you got false prophets out here, who set them up? The Most High. Who set up them scoffers? The Most High set y'all up, man. He deceived you. As is written of 2 Thessalonians 2:11, he gave you over the strong delusion that you should believe a lie, man. Alright? Read on. It says, and if a prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand upon him and would destroy him from the midst of my people Israel, man. So he deceived you and he gonna destroy you, man. And that's how cold the Most High is, man. And how do we know that? Read the book of 1 Kings, the 22nd chapter. What he did to Ahab. Okay? What he did to Ahab, man. Okay? Prophet Micah, I told him. You know, you see the Most High with host on his right, host on his left. And the Most High said, whom should I send to deceive Ahab? And one of the spirits that sent me. So I will go in the earth as a lying spirit, and I shall deceive the mouth of all his prophets. And that's how Ahab got put to death, man. Okay, so everything starts from the spiritual realm. There is no free will. Okay, that's a lie, man. Some were created on the right, and most were created to be on the left. We created, Lord willing, we are part of the right, man. The majority of our people, they on the left hand right now. They following Esau and his vibration. Okay? There was another precept I wanted to read. It flows. All right. I'm gonna read that. We're going to that. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 3. Zechariah 12 and 3. I'll save that. I'll save this precept. I'll save this precept. Right, he was complaining how he can't trust nobody, man. To show you wasn't reading the scriptures, man. Not everybody that, and okay, not everybody that shalom you is your brother, man. Okay, the scripture talks about proving your friend first. Okay, not every Hebrew Israelite is your brother, man. The scripture talks about wolves in sheep clothing, and the Christian church is nothing but wolves in sheep's clothing, man. And I'll show you how dumb and stupid you guys are, man. Who the hell can't see past these Christians, man? These Christians are the most wicked, devious, demonic people on the planet Earth. All the homosexuals are in the Christian church, man. None but adultery in the Christian church. None but pedophiles in the Christian church, man. Of course, there's a lot of backstabbing in the Christian church, man. Because they don't believe in the Holy Scriptures. That's why they eat pork, shrimp, celebrate Christmas, do what the hell they want to do. All right? We read the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4. Okay, you can't trust nobody in them demonic churches, man. Come on, man. All they do is gossip every Sunday after church. Oh, you seen Sister Betty with this and this and that. Come on, man. The scripture tells you about how to deal with situations with your brother, man. Okay? There's various scriptures on that, man. Luke 17, Matthew 18. Come on, man. But the Christian church, they don't believe in the Bible, man. That's the biggest joke of character. That's why people are turning away from them churches, man. All the scriptures keep popping in my mind. I'll read this one right after. Ecclesiastes 37:1. It says, every friend saith, I am his friend also, but is a friend which is only a friend in name. The Bible warns you of that, man. Read that again. Ecclesiastes chapter 37, verse 1. Every friend saith, I am his friend also. But there's a friend, which is only a friend in name, man. Okay? And that's a lot of people, especially when you're young, you see that. As you get older, you're supposed to be more seasoned. You're supposed, especially when you read these scriptures. Okay? Scripture talks about proving your friends, proving your brothers, man. You gotta be wise as a serpent. Okay? Scripture talks about a wise man don't open all his mouth. A lot of these people are your friends just to discover your secrets. So scripture tells you that in the Apocrypha. Okay? And they like slandering and backstabbing, man. You gotta watch out for dudes like that, man. So that dude, G-Man is a clown. It says, it is not a grief unto death when a companion and a friend is turned to an enemy. Yeah. Yeah, it's a grief unto death, man. That scripture talks about proving your friends. And those are the worst kind of enemies because they know you. Alright? Jump on down. Let's see if they got more of that. I think that's pretty much it. We read a little bit more to verse 6. It says, there's a companion which rejoiceth in the prosperity of a friend, but in the time of trouble he will be against you. Yeah, so-called friends, man. When you're doing good, them niggas are around you, man. Okay? The scripture said, at the time of trouble he will be against you. Alright? Verse 5, there's a companion which helpeth his friend for the belly, and taketh up the buckler against the enemy. Get not thy friend in thy mind, and be not unmindful of him in thy riches, man. So the scripture tells you, you read it again, verse 6. Forget not thy friend or brother in thy mind, and be not unmindful of him in thy riches, man, when you're doing well. Okay? Remember those brothers, man. Those that are around you, man. Scripture don't teach you how to be a niggard, like it says. Okay? You're supposed to be like Yahawashi said, true brotherhood, John 15, verse 12. One of the main things the Messiah taught the disciples wasn't only about faith in the commandments, was what? The importance of brotherhood. That's what he got down and washed their feet, man. Being a servant unto your brethren. Okay? That's also very important. Okay, helping your brothers in need, man. I'll get precepts on that. The Christian church don't believe in none of that things, man. The pastor's all about gimme, 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 and the prosperity doctrine. That whole Christian church is wicked and evil, man. And the Most High is going to send fire on all them churches, man. Because that's not his house, man. John chapter 15, verse 12. John chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another, as I've loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Okay? Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I've called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I've made known to you. Okay? So the Yahawashi said, greater have no man loved than this, and a man laid down his life for his friend. That's a true friend or true brother. Alright? Just like he did. Just like that's what the elect are, man. Friends are the brothers of Yahawashi. That's his true family, man. Matter of fact, let me get this precept. Yeah, James chapter 2, verse 23. The scripture I want to get after this. I want to find it. Okay, between David and Jonathan, man. That was true brotherhood, man. Okay. Now Jonathan went against the plans of his own father for David to live, man. And it's because of that David looked after his son. And his son was called the friend of the king. Okay? Because Jonathan was a true brother, man. And the rest of Saul's sons got put to death. Anyway, let me read James chapter 2, verse 23. James chapter 2, verse 23. It says, and the scripture was fulfilled. Matter of fact, let me read 20. But would thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Yeah, faith without works is dead, man. Belief without action is dead, man. Okay, the works consist of keeping the commandments, but the main work is the ministry. Okay, building the Lord's house. That's the main way you're going to be saved. Scripture says every man going to be saved by his faith and his works. You can't be justified by the law, because no man is justified by the law. It tells you that in the book of James right here. All right? That's the point I want to get. Tells you that James 2:10. Let me read it. For whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend at one point is guilty of all. So how you going to be saved? By faith and works. But there's a point I want to bring out in James. Verse 20. Will thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham, our father, justified by works when he offered up Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou faith wrought with his works? By his works was faith made perfect. Okay? Because he believed in the Most High, he brought his son up on the altar, which also goes back to the sacrificial law. So he did faith and works. And the scripture was fulfilled, which said, Abraham believed the Most High, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of the Most High. That's what the elect are, man. Okay? Really, we're sons of the Most High, but friends also, just like Abraham. Okay? I wanted to get a precept. I can see if I can find it. If not, see? Yeah, James. I'm gonna get into the famine of the word too, because you have a lot of jakes who come up and look at the signs and they don't say nothing, man. And you know, good riddance, okay? Because you have to get it, man. We have the truth, man. That's what we coming out here and we preaching it. Okay, you gotta seek the Most High, man. You're not gonna pat your jakes on the back. Time is too short for that. All right? David. All day, Jake been coming up here. See if I can find this scripture, man. I think it's the book of 1 Samuel 18. Let me look. Alright, so you Christians don't know what it is to be a true friend or brother, man. Because I don't teach that. I teach it's all about yourself, man. Alright? That's a wicked spirit, man. Let me read 1 Samuel, read the 18th chapter.